First, let me thank Concord Television for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself to my constituents in District C and the entire Concord community as a candidate for the Concord School Board. My name is Rusty Coffrin. I'm 54 years old, married for 33 years, and have 3 wonderful children ages 28, 25, and 23, all of whom attended school in this district as students in elementary, middle, and high school. I'm also a 7-year cancer survivor. I reside in East Concord, and I pay property taxes. Currently, I'm a retired mathematics teacher and coach. I retired after 30 years service, 27 of which were at Concord High School. Having been a math teacher and coach for 27 years here at Concord High School, I certainly know how education works in our district. Given my background, I know I can contribute to the board in a very meaningful way. I can still work hard for the school district, and I will be a positive asset for my constituents from District C and the Concord community. With my experience, devotion, vision, and outlook, I believe that I will serve the community on this board with honesty and integrity. I've also been an advocate for the school children of Concord. My main focus must be that every decision we make as board members will always impact the children of Concord in a very positive way. Concord is one of the best districts to work in. I am a loyal retiree and always speak highly of the work our school board does and the amount of time and effort they work. I know I'll work just as hard with the school board, and I will give them a perspective of a teacher and coach. I will enjoy confronting the challenges of operating a large school district, and I want to be involved in the development of educational policy. I believe that I have the knowledge and background to contribute to the conversations on how to make our schools a better place. There are many more issues we will have to deal with, and I believe that my past experience will help us make good decisions which are best for the school children and the employees of Concord School District. Of course, being a property taxpayer, I truly understand the bite it has in our budget. I will do my best to keep the tax rate down as much as possible. Our sole purpose is to create policies that will benefit our school children and its employees while keeping Concord the top educational school district. Now, I did mention that I have a vision for the school district. My vision is that Concord School District will be the best in the state. Other districts will want to model themselves after us. People who need to move will come to Concord knowing that our schools are the best. Our current vision and beliefs are a great way to start. I have followed this philosophy every day I taught and coached at Concord High School. Now, please remember, on November 5th, a vote for Rusty Coffrin is a vote for experience. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam Czarkowski, and I'm running for the Ward 1 City Council seat. I have lived in Pennacook for over 10 years with my wife Beth, and we have a son Tyler that goes to Pennacook Elementary. Some of you may remember me from the close race I had in 2011 with Liz Blanchard. I ran in 2011 to give the voters of Pennacook a choice. In 2013, I'm running because I feel I'm ready to represent the people of Pennacook. I have spent the last 2 years attending city council meetings to make sure that I'm up to date on all the issues. I am active with both the Pennacook Village Association and the Pennacook Elementary Parent Teachers Group. I feel I offer the residents of Pennacook a well-informed, independent voice on city council. I bring to the council 14 years of experience in the technology industry. I currently work for DSEI Corporation as the Director of Service Delivery and Support. My years of experience in the technology industry have given me a logical approach to decision making. I would bring a logical thought process to my decisions on city council. Any council or committee needs members with different skill sets, and I think my background would be a good fit for the council. My goals as a city councilor would be to see through the final phases of the Route 3 corridor project, to advocate for a grocery store in Pennacook, to advocate for the development of the tannery site to a project that would be beneficial for the village, and to maintain the great level of services while not overburdening the taxpayers.
Hi, I'm Brent Todd, candidate for City Council Ward 1, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th. I'm very pleased and proud to have the support and endorsement of our current councilor, Elizabeth Blanchard, for this election. I'm proud to be a resident of Pennacook. It's a great place to live. My family and I really love it here, and I've also enjoyed the opportunity I've had of many years of volunteering with such organizations as the Pennacook Village Association and others, where we've been able to focus on community improvements by listening to residents' concerns and desires for better community. It's also just been a privilege to work with so many smart, devoted, caring people. And as counselor, I would continue to listen to you and work hard to achieve positive change. It's really, in my opinion, an exciting time to be living in Pennacook. I really do think that Pennacook is the village on the verge of greatness. I'm asking for your vote so that I can continue to push for progress to advance our community's interests. I'm building on a decade-long history of service to Pennacook and Concord, both behind the scenes and in front. And I do feel that I can carry this work forward better as your city councilor. I'll be able to tell you a little bit about myself here, but due to the limit of time, for those of you who are interested in reading more and learning more about me, please visit my webpage, which is brenttoddconcord.com. But let me tell you a little bit. As an example of my history in the community, in 2005, I was a board member of Concord 2020, and we developed a plan called Project Pennacook. And that basically led to several large-scale visioning sessions within the community where you are all able to voice your concerns about what you would like to see improved, what things are wrong, what things are very important to you. And that was all very valuable information. We've been working on a lot of the aspects of what you had told us back then, since then. And ultimately, those sessions actually culminated in the formation of the Pennacook Village Association, which I'm very proud of. And I still continue to serve as a board member of that group. And we've really been working hard to try to help revitalize the village. I think in terms of issues in this election, or any election, it boils down to three main issues: quality of life, fiscal responsibility, and economic development. And I'll speak to each of those three briefly. For quality of life, I want to continue to support our library, our parks, our community center, and our schools, because those are really what we are all about. They're very important to our community. I also want to continue to support Pennacook through my work as a member of the Transportation Policy Advisory Committee to improve streets, sidewalks, bike lanes, bus service, and our walking trails. And I do want to focus on keeping the Sewells Falls construction work on schedule, because there are certainly some important safety concerns there. As to the fiscal responsibility, I want to strive to minimize the tax burden while maintaining necessary police, fire, and transportation services. For economic development, I want to continue efforts to attract businesses, including a supermarket, and young professionals to our community. And I do want to work to protect and promote the historic and rural character of our village. It's really unique and a wonderful, valuable asset that we have. In terms of community service, I mentioned the Pennacook Village Association a moment ago. I'm a founding member and a board member since 2008, when that group was officially formed. I'm also the current Business and Events Subcommittee co-chair, and we have worked to bring the farmers market to Pennacook, concerts, and revitalize other old-time events that we all have enjoyed in the past, like Apple Fest and so forth. We've also, through my work on the Transportation Subcommittee of the TPAC, worked to improve bus service to Concord citywide and also into Pennacook. I am also a member of the Pennacook Tax Increment Financing District Advisory Board, and that involves the tannery site, which is another important focus for us in the near future. We're going to be charged with reviewing the scope and cost of infrastructure improvements in the district, among other things. And finally, I founded a nonprofit called Concord 250 to support and promote the 250th anniversary of the founding of our city, which will occur in the year 2015. And of course, I'm going to make sure that Pennacook has a seat at the table in terms of planning those celebration events. So again, for more information, please turn to my webpage, brenttoddconcord.com. I thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing and meeting with many of you during my rounds as the election campaign continues. Thank you very much.
Hello, Concord Ward 2. My name is Tim Bauman, and I would like to serve you on City Council. I've lived in the Primrose neighborhood for several years and decided it was time that I became more involved in the community and made a contribution to the quality of life here. This message will be a brief introduction covering the abilities I believe are necessary to be your representative and discussing what needs to be focused upon in the coming year. I believe 3 abilities are necessary to be a successful representative as your council member. First, the ability to bring a fresh perspective. While I am impressed with the depth of knowledge and openness of those currently on the council, only a few councilors have background outside of government service or advocacy groups. I believe the council needs a more balanced perspective, and my private sector background can provide just that. Second, while councilors and candidates may have strong opinions, it is important that we be able to communicate with each other and with the city staff in a respectful manner. I have a strong desire to find common ground and work successfully with the other councilors. Finally, the ability to listen. As your new councilor, it will be very important for me to listen so I can educate myself on all of the issues. There are at least 3 issues that I believe require focus in the coming year. First, we need to focus city expenditures on core services in order to keep property taxes in check. Because the economy is still in a questionable state, fiscal responsibility is very important at this time. That means we have to be cautious before starting any of the large projects that are currently in the works. There are other things that many of us want, but we may have to delay those for a time to ensure that we're being fiscally responsible. Secondly, I'd like to ensure that we have cost-effective maintenance and timely replacement of city infrastructure. With the 20-year wait for the replacement of the Sewell Falls Bridge coming to an end, we need to better plan funding for the future so we aren't dependent upon funding sources that have too many strings attached. Finally, I want to promote a police department emphasis on citizen-friendly, community-oriented policing. In light of the recent controversy over the Bearcat, it is important that residents feel served by the police department and not anxious over how they may be treated in their encounters with officers. In closing, again, I believe there are 3 things that I need to be successful as your representative on the council. The ability to bring a fresh perspective, the ability to build bridges between different members on the council, and the ability to listen. I look forward to meeting many of you in the coming weeks as I knock on doors and attend candidate forums. Please feel free to contact me via email or give me a phone call. My contact information is posted on the city website on the candidates information page. Please vote for Tim Bauman for Ward 2 City Councilor on November 5th. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Alan Hirschlag, and I am a candidate for the Ward 2 City Council seat. I am 63 years old and married to Kathy Furlong. I have lived in Concord for 35 years, and we have owned our own home in Ward 2 since 1990. I retired about 2 years ago, having worked for the city, for myself, the cross-country ski industry, and as a coach. One of my first jobs with the city was working at the Beaver Meadow Golf Course, providing cross-country skiing for our community, and as a practice and race site for the Concord High School ski team. I have worked in and managed ski touring centers throughout the state. I worked for a ski supply company as a technical representative, helping racers to use their products more effectively. I have coached skiers as young as 3 and 4 years old, at Concord High School, with collegiate athletes, and with elite and U.S. ski team members at the Lake Placid Olympic Training Center. There are a number of issues that I believe are important for the manor in Pennacook. It was good to learn that the planning and construction of the Sewell Falls Bridge is finally moving forward. If there aren't any more snags, it will be another 2 years before construction is completed. It must be asked, why has it taken so long to be able to move forward with this project? While downtown Pennacook is receiving infrastructure improvements and a facelift, it is important for the city's engineering department to provide up-to-date information about this construction project on the city's website. Adjacent to Ward 2 is a parcel that has been clear-cut in anticipation of future development. Currently, it is an eyesore. We must stay involved in discussions leading to the development of this property to ensure it fits in with the character of our neighborhood, doesn't negatively impact traffic, and complements the improvements taking place in Pennacook. And we must continue to market the tannery site to find a project that will add economic vitality to the village. Citywide, there are a number of issues that are also important to focus on. Concerns about the scope and cost of the Complete Streets construction project for our downtown, the redevelopment of the Department of Employment Security building, and why the administration feels it is necessary to relocate the library and use the current location for office space. Concerns about how the city uses special tax districts, the extension of Store Street, construction of the final leg of the Langley Parkway, its impact on established neighborhoods, and how it will connect to 393. And of course, how we go about paying for all of this. If I am fortunate enough to earn your confidence by receiving your vote and being elected to serve on the City Council, I will work tirelessly to achieve the goals of bringing fiscal responsibility and responsible growth and development to our city. And I will work to create an atmosphere where you can be confident that those who represent you are listening to you. Before deciding on any issues that come before the City Council, I will consider the following. Does the project make financial sense for Concord? I will insist on knowing the full cost of a project before it is voted on. How will the project affect the city's tax rate, and how will that affect the taxes you pay? And most importantly, before voting to approve funding for any project, I will listen to you because it is your money. Is the proposed growth and development right for Concord? We have seen our tax base expand, yet each year we fall further behind in meeting the needs of our community while our taxes continue to rise. All too often, multi-million-dollar projects are given special tax considerations. These special tax districts can avoid paying for city services and our schools for as long as 20 years. I will insist on developing a yardstick that measures how all new growth and development affects your taxes. And most importantly, what do you think? The issues that come before the City Council are important, but just as important are how those issues are decided. My job as a City Councilor will be to listen to what you have to say and to represent you. All too often, those who testify before the City Council feel that their voices are not being heard. Many feel that by the time a public hearing is held, it is already a done deal. My goal is to restore confidence for those who live in Concord so that when you address the City Council, you can be confident your testimony matters. I believe the two most important jobs a City Councilor has are listening to you and remembering that it is your money that is being spent. It is important for me to always remember that I represent you. You can be assured that your voice will always be heard by me. Remember that your vote is your voice and what you have to say matters. Please, take the time to vote on Tuesday, November 5th, and thank you for considering me to represent you as your City Councilor in Ward 2.
Hi, Rick Sabati, candidate for City Council, Ward 3. My background is I've been a citizen here in Concord for over 27 years, and I own a small ceramic tile and stone company that and I'm a homeowner. I've been a Little League coach and a youth hockey coach. I'm an active member at St. Paul's Church, B&I, and the Chamber of Commerce of Concord. I have a lifetime of construction experience, and I have a different perspective than most of the candidates. My interests are to lower taxes and to raise revenue for the city. One of my major goals is to get the Riverwalk up and running, connect the bridges is what I call it. I want to connect Loudon Road to Manchester Street and make a loop to downtown. It's something that we really should accomplish. I want to give back to the community that's been so good to me. That's why I'm running for City Council. And I believe it's time for a change. You know, and I can do it by hard work and honesty. Can help the city by running for the seat of city council and expand my base by attracting new people to Concord to spend money here. I want some of the events I want to organize, bring back Race Fever, and why couldn't we have a River Fest down at the Merrimack River? We can invite Concord, we can invite Harvard University and Yale and Dartmouth and have a huge extravaganza on the river. It would be a wonderful event and it would bring revenue to the town. I'd like to attract people to come to downtown as a destination spot. Come and spend the weekend down here and leave some of that money that you're coming through to check out our beautiful foliage and river walk and trails. Finally, the Main Street project. This is a real priority for me. I feel with my background in construction, I can bring the project in on budget and on time. And my qualifications for this job is I'm a leader. I have street smarts. I'm a problem solver. I have a lifetime in the construction industry. I have an experience that's unique to anyone on the city council. I've been a working person since I've been 14 years old, and I've done it all. I promise, I deliver what others only promise. Thank you. Please vote for me.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Kretovic. I'm an existing city councilor and I am running for the seat in Ward 3. My message to voters is about stability and change. And I know you're thinking, wait, Jen, those are two contradictory words. Let me explain. And I'll start with the easy one, which is change. My husband and I have lived in the same house for the last 23 years. And since then, we lived in Ward 3, then we got moved to Ward 2, and now we're back in Ward 3. It's like a shell game, moving us around. I see this as an opportunity for change. The voters of Ward 3 have an opportunity to bring new energy, new excitement, and a new level of commitment to the ward by someone that is a proven community champion, a cheerleader. Pick the word you want, someone that is out to make Concord a great community. Now let's talk about stability. When I think about stability, I think about the increase of our property taxes that we as the City Council approved for the fiscal year 2014. Now I want to talk in real dollars out of your pocket. So let's say your house costs $250,000. The impact out of your wallet for taxes next year is $67.50. That's for the whole year. We can thank the state for $62.50. Why? Because the state has decided they're no longer going to contribute to the New Hampshire retirement system the increases that we face year after year. And they're taking a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to the rooms and meals tax. And what that's doing is costing the city of Concord millions of dollars year after year. And you and I, as taxpayers, we need to make that up. So what is the city council really asking for of you? $5. Not $5 per thousand, but $5 for the year. $1.25 per quarter. It's like a cup of coffee, right? So now let's talk about commitment. This is important. Over the last 2 years, the City Council has looked at 175 public hearings. We've had 330 items on consent. I personally have attended 110 committee meetings, and that doesn't include the council meetings. It doesn't include public forums or even the budget hearings. This is a job, a role that takes a lot of commitment, and you have to be informed and you have to be prepared. And the other thing you need to do is listen and speak. I've come to learn that you should expect more from your city councilor because I'm representing a collective voice, our voice. Don't you want to know that your councilor is taking a balanced approach, that they're weighing the data and the facts to the consensus of the ward? This is an important position that you've put us in. And if I merely stand there and say yay or nay on the vote of important issues, like say for example, the Bearcat or Main Street, The Sewell Falls Bridge is a good one. And 2 years ago when I ran, you know what was important then? A grocery store at exit 17. That mere yay or nay is not good enough. You need to have confidence that your city councilor is making the right decision on your behalf. They need to listen and they need to speak. Now, when I go out and I knock on doors of residents in the area, they always want to know, okay, so what's your priority, Jen? My greatest priority is a long-term one that I've been working on for the last 10 years and hope to be working on for the next 10 years. We need to attract new companies to Concord. They have to offer long-term earning potential for our residents, and they have to be higher paying jobs. We need to position Concord so that we can compete with Manchester and Nashua. And the other important element is we need to keep our younger workforce here in Concord. We're an aging community, and if we don't keep them here, we are on a slippery slope. That's my priority. So for all these reasons, I am asking you for your support on Tuesday, November 5th. And you know what? Remember, it's a privilege to vote. I'm hopeful to see you at one of my very favorite places in the city of Concord, Beaver Meadow Golf Course. We'll see you then. Thank you.
Hello, Ward 3. I'm Jan McClure, your Ward 3 City Councilor, and I'm running for re-election. I've been a Concord resident for 32 years, and I've lived in Ward 3 for 25 with my husband Michael and our 3 daughters, all who attended Beaver Meadow School, but are now grown, save one who's still in college. I very much appreciate the opportunity to have served as your city councilor for 10 years. And I especially want to thank the voters and the residents of Ward 3 for their overwhelming support in past elections. I look forward to continuing to work for you and all the residents of the city in the coming 2 years. As your councilor, I have worked with you and for you to keep taxes low, enhance economic development, and provide excellent city services. Together, we have succeeded. Helping constituents is one of the more enjoyable aspects of city council work. I've helped my Ward 3 neighbors in projects small and large, from potholes to sewers, from permitting to parks, or just helping people find their way through city government. As your councilor, I'll continue to be a resource for you. I will continue to listen, and I will continue to help. As a council, we've accomplished a lot in the last 10 years. While there's always room for improvement, our city's financial health is in great shape. Our bond rate was recently upgraded to AA+. This means we have improved our fiscal management, and it translates into hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings to our general fund. Our municipal tax rate remains low for the region, and we have kept tax rate increases corrected for inflation at nearly 0%. We've streamlined many city departments and processes such as permitting and code, parks and recreation, and making our golf course solvent. This sound fiscal management has allowed us to engage in important and needed initiatives. We renovated our parks. We have well-trained and community-based police and fire departments, keeping our neighborhoods safe. We cleaned up the Allied Tannery site, making it ready for redevelopment. And we are nearing completion of reconstruction of the Fisherville Road North State Street corridor. As a member of the important Fiscal Policy Advisory Committee, I've been part of our city's success, advocating for controlling spending, keeping the municipal tax rate low, and still maintaining important city services at optimum levels. And we've worked hard to make access to city services more convenient for all, through such improvements as evening hours at City Hall, electronic motor vehicle registration, single stream recycling, expanded library hours and facilities, and a new city website. I will continue to be a strong advocate for conservative fiscal policies, sound business practices, and citizen-friendly services. There's more to do. Looking to the future, several new initiatives are underway. In Ward 3, the Sewell Falls Bridge received clearance for final design. I will continue to be a voice for the ward in that process. And we need to minimize disruption to our North State Street neighborhoods when the new women's prison is constructed. Citywide, the Main Street project will soon be underway and will require ongoing oversight. We want to continue to facilitate redevelopment in Pennacook and in a key downtown location where an updated library may be possible. Proposed Loudon Road improvements will be reviewed soon by the council, and we will begin a new citywide community center feasibility study. I'm looking forward to putting my years of experience and stewardship to work as your city councilor, moving these projects forward responsibly and creatively, and I'm counting on your vote to do so. Please be sure to vote on November 5. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Byron Champlin, and I'm running for City Council representing Ward 4. I've lived in Ward 4 for 26 years. My wife Susie and I spent Saturday mornings and weekday evenings watching our girls play softball at Dillon Field. In the winter, we took them skating and sledding in White Park. The girls were educated at Walker School and Concord High. For almost 3 decades, I've been active in Concord as a volunteer. I've served as chairman of the Capital Center for the Arts Board of Directors. I've served as vice chair of the state's McAuliffe-Shepard Discovery Center Commission. I've helped guide Concord's economic growth as a member of the city's Economic Development Advisory Council, and I've represented the business community on the board of the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce. Now, I'd like to take my public service to the next level by serving on the City Council for Ward 4. I'm an advocate of leveraging our cultural institutions, artists, and creative enterprises to broaden the city's economic base. I chair the city's Creative Economy Committee, where I initiated successful efforts to keep the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's headquarters and galleries and the people who work there in Concord. I also launched an initiative now known as Concord's New Front Door in order to make the city more attractive and appealing from Interstate 93. As your Ward 4 City Councilor, I want to hold the line on property taxes. Seniors on fixed income and young families just getting started are shut out of home ownership by rising taxes on their homes. Instead, I want to expand our tax base through thoughtful development and public-private partnerships. A growing economy can generate the revenues we need to provide necessary city services. Prudent budget management can hold unnecessary expenses in check. Homelessness is a growing problem in Concord and one that's affecting Ward 4 neighborhoods. It must be addressed with a combination of compassion and common sense. We are a generous city and already provide many services for the homeless. Meals are served by our volunteers at the Friendly Kitchen. The city supports shelters at McKenna House and through the Friends program. But we also need to look at how to help the chronically homeless, those who often have mental health or substance abuse issues. We must find strategies to address their needs and to get them off our streets. Concord is a city of neighborhoods, and I will advocate for a community-based approach to law enforcement that protects and strengthens the social capital that is one of our greatest community assets. I have been a supporter of the city's Complete Streets downtown redesign effort, and I'd like the opportunity to guide it to a successful conclusion from a seat on the City Council. This important project is already paying dividends, attracting new businesses downtown, and possibly sparking the rebirth of Phoenix Hall as a performance venue. But this investment in downtown must proceed with a minimum disruption for merchants, and businesses. I welcome the chance to provide oversight and ensure a positive outcome to complete streets. I would also like to help shape the next stage of downtown Concord's growth. We need to be attentive to stimulating business on Concord's side streets downtown. How do we create more Warren Streets, which attract shoppers, diners, and visitors to our downtown? At the same time, we need to adopt a long-range approach to addressing parking issues, meeting the needs of merchants and residents with an eye towards taking advantage of technological innovations that are even now on the horizon. My focus is on the future. I believe that Concord is a great small city and that this is an exciting time to live here. Our potential as a livable, family-oriented city is almost limitless if we recognize our assets and build upon them. I ask for your vote on November 5th, and I thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Mike Dello Iacono. I'm a City Council candidate for Ward 4. Currently, I sit in the at-large City Council seat, and I've done so for the past 4 years. I'm very proud of the many accomplishments we've done, and I want to continue to serve as City Councilor. I'm switching to the ward level to have more of a grassroots approach and interact with my neighbors and friends a little bit more. But for the past 4 years, we've had a balanced budget. We've had minimal tax increase, if any, and we continue to provide economic opportunities for the citizens of the City of Concord and for the businesses. And as a business owner for the past 12 years, I know what it takes to run a small business, and so I want to continue to make it a business-friendly environment. I also have 2 young children in the city, and I know the many challenges of raising little kids around, and my kids are 6 and 9. And so it affords me a lot of opportunity to talk to other parents and find out what's going on in their lives and what may bother them, and I can bring that to the council. What I do as a city councilor is I listen. I don't come with a hidden agenda, and I research best possible solutions, and I implement that at the council level. So I would appreciate your support if you live in Ward 4. For more information about me, you can go to Mike Dello, MikeDello.com. I'm also on Facebook, and I'd love to interact with you. Call me, email me. My phone number is 603-520-0980. Thanks, and remember to vote on November 5th.
Good afternoon. I'm Dick Patton. It's a pleasure to join you today, but not as host of Around Town, but as your candidate for re-election, as incumbent for a re-election here to City Council from Ward 8, right here on the Concord Heights. I've had a real pleasure of coming here to talk with you folks who live here in the ward, and I've been honored to have been your counselor for 6 years, and the Heights has changed, and to be sitting here in this studio it's reminiscent, because I went to Dame School here for 7 years, kindergarten through 6, and then I'm in my first grade classroom, and which is you'll be seeing around town in future shows. But it just tells you that I've been on the Heights for 61 years. I was born here. My mother was born here back in 1925. My grandparents built their first house here in 1916. So the Heights has been my home, and I love it, and I can never see myself moving off from it, which is why I really want to come back in and continue serving you as your counselor for Ward 8. I may not be a speaker at times at our meetings, but I'm constantly out there checking our roads, our neighborhoods, to make sure that everything is okay. We've got some things going on in the Heights. Obviously, I have pretty much 3/4 of the Heights. Ward 9 has a little bit of it, from the Ormond Street up to the Old Alvin Road area. But I have, of course, from Prescott Street over to Manchester Street up to 106 on the Walmart side. And we've seen many changes through the years, no doubt about it. I mean, the Heights has grown from that little neighborhood to almost like a main street up here now, with all the businesses, restaurants, and just bustling with activities. But we can't forget what the Heights means to a lot of people. And there are still issues up here that we have to be watching out for and facing, because we are losing a lot of our families because of the tax rate possibly, or just the commercial growth up here. But I know myself, I love being able to talk to people, talking one-on-one, and I have certainly appreciated many of you calling me at home or stopping me on the street, or even if I'm out to eat. I have no problem with that. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's happening, and I hope over the last 6 years I have done that. I know there are some things that I am a little frustrated with, not being able to get a traffic light or a stoplight over on Manchester Street by Garvin Falls Road. The traffic on Manchester Street continues to grow and grow. And sometimes I think it's almost as bad as Loudon Road, but hopefully in the coming years we can try to somehow alleviate that. I know that we have some streets here on the Heights that are not classified or accepted by our city, and that being A Street, B Street, Russell Street, among the ones, and there are a few others that, you know, the people who live on those streets and pay their city taxes, but they feel like they're not getting the rest of the services. And I'm going to still continue to pursue that to no end, because after all, they are just as much our residents as anyone else's. And the Heights Playground, or now Keach Park, continues to grow, and right here at Dame School, or I still call it Dame School, but the City Recreation Department, as you know, in the coming years, we're going to be talking about a brand new community center and senior center. So with that in mind, I hope that you'll go to the polls or get an absentee ballot, and you will seriously think about re-electing me to another 2-year term to be your city councilor. And I appreciate that so much, and thank you for this time of spending with you, and I'll see you on around town. I'm Dick Patton.
Hello, my name is Dennis Susi. I live at 3 Russell Street in Concord, New Hampshire. I'm running for a Ward 8 Concord City Council. A lot of people had approached me to run, and they all thought that I would be a good asset to the city of Concord. I am semi-retired. I worked in the trucking industry and safety operations for H.P. Hood for 41 years, and I currently work part-time right now. I have a lot of good issues. Concord has the construction issue of downtown. They have the homeless population. They have the Loudon Road project. They have the Fisherville Road project. And they have the Northern Pass project, which will be coming through Concord. A lot of people have approached me about the Northern Pass, and I would like to have the Northern Pass buried. If they were coming down through the Concord area, they probably wouldn't have to bury it everywhere, but coming through residential areas, it would be a good idea if they would bury it. And then we could probably talk about who would be for it and who would be against it, without just one option of not burying it, where the state of New York and the state of Vermont, I heard, had buried 200 to 300 miles of transmission lines. Somebody had told me New Hampshire was a different scenario because New Hampshire has too much granite and they couldn't be digging that far down. And then we have the construction project in downtown. A lot of people aren't happy with it because it will disrupt their operations downtown, and their businesses could be hurt by it. But if we agree upon doing block by block or half sidewalk at a time, instead of ripping up everything, I think they would be a little bit more happy. But some people aren't going to be happy and some will be happy. But I just don't want to have it so it will hurt any people downtown, because a lot of people like going downtown and doing their shopping. And we have the Loudon Road project, which could be a safety issue. I'm for making Loudon Road the 3-lane road that they talked about. It probably would take some getting used to for people to find out how to use the left turn lane properly with use it with courtesy. People making the left turn, we would stop a lot of zigzag traffic, and we would stop a lot of accidents too. And then the homeless population is another problem we have in Concord. I know some people want to be left alone, they want to be homeless, but you stop and think about winter coming and the freezing weather. Would you want to be out there in 20 degrees below zero, living under a bridge or living in a tent? I know, I worked outside all my life, and being outside, it's cold out there. It's cold and wet, and you have nothing. And how do you ever recoup from being out in the cold? So I know they talked about doing different things, but we have to take care of our own people, and I think we'd have to look into something to help these people short term, not long term, but to help them out so that they're not out there in the freezing cold. And if there's a lot of part-time jobs out there, I know they're not high paying or they're not permanent, they could be temporary, but if we can get people to help out anywhere, city services, cleaning, highway pickup, trash pickup, any kind of city maintenance, we should look into it to make it for the better of these people and the better of Concord. Some people, they don't even want to think about the homeless people, but I think about it a lot. We go by and we see the people down on the corner of Fort 80 Road holding up signs, will work for food or need money for diapers, or, granted, I don't think all them people down there really need the money. I think they're just out there with signs to collect money, and they're really not homeless or in need of food. But we have to eliminate the problem by trying to help the people. I really don't have a good solution as to what to do, and I'm just saying that we should form some kind of committee to look into it, so these people are taken care of and they could be to the better of Concord, and not just homeless people from Concord living under a tent or under a bridge or whatever. And I just enjoy having fun. I enjoy camping. I enjoy being outside, and my wife and I, we enjoy motorcycle riding, which we try to do a lot. Now, with winter coming, we probably won't be able to, but we just enjoy life, and we're just trying to make it for the better, and we try to help our family and friends as much as we can, and I just hope you would vote for me on November 5th. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Grady Sexton, and I've had the honor of serving as the Ward 4 City Councilor for the past 4 years. This year, I've decided to run for at-large City Councilor. One of the things that I love most about serving is constituent affairs work, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to serve people throughout all of Concord as well as Pennacook. I'd love to earn your vote, so if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is on the City of Concord's website. And please don't forget to vote. I hope to see you at the polls on November 5th. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Fred Keach, and I'm running at large for City Council. 4 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be elected by the folks in East Concord to represent Ward 10. I subsequently won a second election and have been doing this for 4 years. Unlike previous councilors, instead of looking at opportunities to spend money, we were faced with budget challenges that required us cutting spending. That involved eliminating nearly 75 jobs. At the same time, there was a dramatic decrease in state aid, which forced us to further come up with different revenue sources. It was a painful time for the city, but I can say 4 years later, some good decisions were made, and the city is in a much stronger economic position moving forward. Recently, our bond rating has been increased to AA+, which means borrowing money will cost the taxpayers less going forward. As we come out of this difficult economic time, I see at this point the most important thing is paying attention to infrastructure, parks, and other areas that have been neglected out of necessity during the difficult budget years. Now that revenues are starting to rebound somewhat, I think it's important that we as a city look at the needs and look at what has been largely ignored out of necessity for the past 4 years. It includes things such as parks, paving, bridges, the things that were neglected but are vitally important if we're going to be an economically viable city. Beyond that, I also think it important that we continue to be a pro-development city. I think we need to find ways to increase our customer service at City Hall. I think they do a good job, but there are areas that can be improved. I think in order to minimize any tax increases, it's vitally important that we find ways to broaden the tax base. Certainly areas such as Creative Concord are moving in that direction. The activity we see on South Main Street continues to be a direction that I see as positive. And so if elected, I will work towards those goals. There are opportunities still to come. The development of the Employment Security Building is another one on the horizon, which will really shape the way the downtown progresses. Certainly the downtown project will face some challenges as we go forward. It's a project that I voted for and I wholeheartedly support. It will cause some temporary pain for some of the merchants on the Main Street, but the way it's been presented to me is that it'll be done in small chunks, so one block areas will be affected. The entire downtown will not be completely devastated as the project unfolds. So I think the short-term pain that some of the merchants might feel will be well worth the investment going forward, as I think it really is important for a vibrant downtown to drive the economic conditions. I would also say that the development or I should say the preservation of open space is another thing I'm quite proud of. Recently a large parcel of land was preserved in East Concord, and Concord continues to make open space a priority, and I see that important. I think preserving open space while at the same time expanding the tax base are two goals that are not mutually exclusive, each important, each adding to the quality of life for the folks in Concord. So come November, I would ask for your vote. If anyone has questions, you can find my contact information on the city website. I would be open to answering any questions, chat with anyone, please call, and I would ask for your vote, and thank Concord TV for this time.
Hello, my name is Scott Welch, and I'm a candidate for at-large councilor in the upcoming local election on November 5th. I'm asking for your vote because I believe the current council is leading the city down the wrong path. I was born and raised in Concord. I've lived here all my life. I currently live in Pennacook with my wife Ann, my 3 golden retrievers, my 4 Morkies, and my 2 parrots. As a young man, I had the opportunity to work for the City of Concord Cemetery Department and the Water Department. However many of you might remember me as that Radio Shack guy in Concord, as I've managed Radio Shacks in Concord for many years. In my 58 years, I've seen a lot of changes in Concord, but right now, as I said, I believe the council is leading us down the wrong path. They set priorities that make little sense, make unnecessary expenditures, continue to raise taxes, and ignore the will of the majority of the people that voice their concerns before them. I believe it's time for a change, and on November 5th, I'm asking you to help me make changes that will benefit us all. The Concord Monitor reported today that progress is finally going to be made on the Sewell Falls Bridge, and that construction might begin in 2015. This is a project that should have been taken care of years ago. It should have been prioritized as opposed to a remodeling of Main Street or getting federal funds to purchase a Bearcat for the police department. I believe better decisions could have been made as far as solid waste management. I haven't talked to very many people that are happy with the pay-as-you-throw program. We were told by the City Council that our property taxes would go up because the cost of disposing of solid waste was going to go up, and that a pay-as-you-throw program would ease the burden of those additional costs. We now have to spend $2 or $5 for a package of flimsy purple trash bags, and our property taxes still went up. I believe there are better solutions to solid waste management, and I would ask to sit on the Solid Waste Committee so that we can address some of the issues as far as that disposal goes. A majority of the people that came before the council, as well as signed petitions, voiced their disapproval with the council's decision to supply the police department with an armored vehicle. Yet the city council made the purchase anyway. I would have voted no. The council received one bid for the Main Street remodel project, budgeted at $6.5 million, for twice that amount. I believe the design of that project is fundamentally flawed, and I don't want to see our tax dollars used to complete it. A majority of the people who recently voiced their concerns to the city about the Northwest Bypass project were against it. Many thought their concerns were falling on deaf ears and that this project was already a done deal. And that's a big concern to me. I don't feel that anybody in the city of Concord that goes before the city council should feel that they're not being listened to and not being heard. To have the will of the majority of the people negated by spending federal funds, which are still your tax dollars, on a Bearcat for the police department, and going ahead with a project that is only going to increase in cost and is unnecessary, staggers the imagination. If you're looking for a councilor that will listen to your concerns, work to lower our property taxes, and vote the will of their constituents, then I ask for your vote. If you're satisfied with your property taxes, militarizing the police department, and a council that votes its own agenda, then by all means, re-elect the incumbent councilors. I believe that together we can make a difference in the city of Concord. I ask for your vote on November 5th to help me make that difference. Thank you.